day everyone, we are here to represent the few artworks in UFFIZI Gallery. But before that, let us know what UFFIZI Gallery is. UFFIZI Gallery is one of the world's finest and oldest art galleries. The UFFIZI in Florence, Italy, has housed the world's masterpieces since the time of Leonardo. Established in 1581, it was designed by Vasari, architect and author of Lives of the Artists. The same living detail that went into the masterpiece of art writing went into the curation of the museum and has continued to do so ever since. The gallery is still home to an almost unparalleled collection of masterpieces, and while it attracts a lot of tourists, it really is a must visit if you're heading to the birthplace of the Renaissance.
One of the most famous artwork of the UFFIZI is the Birth of Venus. The Birth of Venus was painted between 1484 to 85 by Botticelli. It was commissioned by a member of the Florentine Medici family, most likely Lorenzo di Pier Francesco, who was a distant cousin of Lorenzo the Magnificent. This painting is one of the masterpieces of Italian Renaissance and one of the highlights of the UFFIZI Gallery in France. The Birth of Venus painting shows the triumph goddess of love and beauty. The Romans knew her as Venus, while for the Greek she was Aphrodite. She stands tall and naked at the center of the canvas, looking ethereal and luminous. She seems to draw all attention to herself as a symbol of beauty, who is both physical and spiritual. With his Birth of Venus, Botticelli was following a trend, speaking the language of culture and pleasing his patrons.
Head of Church by unknown Tuscan master. Considered as the best painting, this early representation of Christ. Head provides a fascinating view into a neglected figure. Okay? In the history of art, due to its placement in the introduction of E.H. Combrade's famous story of art, Christ's head was painted before idealized. Okay? Naturalism became the dominant mode of art that allowed for embellishment and emotional representation. However, it has something to do in priorities given to fantasy over actuality. Because of that, this lends the painting an exhilarating aura of expressionism that would not seen again in art until the 20th century. Seeing this piece, it depicts and clearly demonstrates how the history of art may have taken a totally different path.
Coronation of the Virgin by Fra Angelico. Coronation of the Virgin is one of the most stunning altar pieces ever created. Fra Angelico's work offers us an entire compendium of saints, each given their own unique character and spirit by the master painter of the 15th century. The painting is stunning enough on its own, but when coupled with the detailed engraving work in the gilt, this truly becomes a masterpiece. Originally part of the triptych, the Coronation of the Virgin has more than enough detail to allow it to stand by itself. However, you can see its sisters at the nearby San Marco Museum if you want an idea of how Angelico originally conceived it. As we can see in the artwork, Jesus and the Virgin Mary are on top of a series of small clouds floating in the sky. This painting depicts paradise. Jesus is crowning the Virgin Mary as the Queen of Heaven. Mary has her arms crossed on her chest, slightly bends forward, and has a humble look on her face, while Jesus is decorating her golden crown pieces. On the top right and top left, you can see some trumpets high up in the air, and in the center foreground, you can see two angels playing musical instruments. The angel in blue turned with the back towards us is playing a portable organ, and the angel to the left is playing string instruments. Mary is crowned by her son Jesus as the Queen of Heaven. This occurs after Mary has been assumed into heaven. In ancient times, it was common for the king's mother to be crowned queen. This subject was quite popular in art since the 13th century.
The Madonna with a long neck, also known as the Madonna in Child with Angels and Saint Jerome, is an Italian Mannerist oil painting by Parmigianino, dating from 1535 to 1540, and depicting Madonna and Child with Angels. The painting was begun in 1534 for the funerary chapel of Francesco Tagliafieri in Parma, but remained incomplete of Parmigianino's death in 1540. Ferdinando de' Medici, Grand Prince of Tuscany, purchased in 1698, and it has been on display at the UFFIZI since 1948. Additional information: the strange, adult-like proportions of the child and the elongated neck of the mother in its colloquial name should count against Parmigianino's most famous work. Yet, somehow they seem to imbue the painting with its own unique kind of grace and stillness. In fact, everything in this painting is radical and innovative. From this proportion to its strange perspective to the highly unusual placement of figures within the painting, they show a painter trying hard to find new ways of depicting the familiar scenes attempted by all his predecessors. For all its apparent flaws, Madonna with a long neck is a triumph, proof that a radical new way of working can lead to a masterpiece.
An icon of Hellenistic art, the figurative Greek sculpture known as the Laocoon Group or Laocoon and his Sons is a monumental statue which is on display at the Museo Pio Clementino in the Vatican Museums, Rome. The Laocoon statue was discovered in January 1506, buried in the ground of a Rome vineyard owned by Felice de Fredis. One of the first experts to attend the excavation site was Michelangelo, 1475 to 1564, the famous Renaissance sculptor. Pope Julius II, a lover of Greek art, ordered the work to be brought immediately to the Vatican, where it was installed in the Belvedere Court Garden. The Laocoon statue, standing some 8 feet in height, is made from 7 interlocking pieces of white marble. Its exact date of creation is uncertain, although in line with several inscriptions found in roads dating H. Sander and Athenadoros to some time after 42 BCE. Experts now believe that it was sculpted between 42 to 20 BCE. More importantly, it is known for certain whether it is an original Roman sculpture or a copy of an earlier Greek sculpture. The statue depicted the Trojan priest Laocoon and his two sons Antiphas and Tiberius being killed by giant snakes, as described by the Roman poet Virgil 70 BCE to 19 CE in his epic poem, the Aeneid. Despite persistent uncertainty as to its date and details of its original provenance, Laocoon and his Sons is considered to be one of the greatest works of Greek sculpture of the Hellenistic period. See in particular the Pergamene Screw, 241 to 133 BCE, and aside from the Venus de Milo, is probably the most famous sculpture from ancient Greece.
This is the portrait of Pope Leo X with two cardinals. The artist was Raphael Sanzio da Urbino, better known simply as Raphael. The painting can be found in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. The painting, completed around 1518, was believed to have been commissioned by Raphael's great patron, Pope Leo X himself. A great deal has been written about the symbolic meaning of this painting, and many art historians have written profusely regarding how one should interpret the picture, often disagreeing with each other. So let me just outline the fundamentals of this exquisite work of art. In the picture seated at the table is Giovanni de Medici, who was elected Pope in 1513 and took the name Leo X. The man standing behind the Pope with his hand resting on the Pope's chair is the Cardinal Luigi de' Rossi. He was Leo's first cousin, slightly older, and a particular favorite of the Pontiff. The Cardinal to the left on the picture is Tullio de' Medici, the future Pope Clement VII, and was Leo's right-hand man in the papal court. In front of the Pope is an illuminated Bible, which is a Bible with decorations such as small illustrations, beautiful initials at the beginning of the paragraph, and sometimes even gold or silver decorations. He was studying the Bible with a golden magnifying glass that he is holding in his hand. The open Bible in front of Leo X is probably the Hamilton Bible, a famous 14th century Bible with illustrations and decorations, which is nowadays in the Kampferstig cabinet in Berlin. It refers to the codification of Pope Leo X. In the foreground of the table, there is a silver bell with a golden scarab dome on the side, of which is a raised design of a canthus leaves, flowers, and two Medici symbols, namely the Medici insignia, a diamond ring and 3 feathers, and to the left, and only just visible, the 6 falcon of arms of Leo X surmounted by 2 cross papal keys and tiara. The art critic and historian of the time, Giorgio Vasari, described the bell as a little bell of wrought silver, which is more beautiful than words can tell. All in all, a magnificent painting, which has collected a myriad of different interpretations and elicited many theories regarding the symbolism of it as a whole and its many parts, should just be enjoyed and admired as a great work of art.
The Annunciation provides an insight into the early work of Leonardo da Vinci, who painted this alongside his master Andrea del Verrocchio. Here is a backstory about the painting Annunciation. This painting has been in the Uffizi Gallery since 1867. Before that, it hung in the San Bartolomeo at Monte Olivetta Church in the countryside of Tuscany. There has been a constant debate on who painted this work. The consensus is now that this painting was created in the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio. A popular explanation is that the painting was started by Andrea del Verrocchio, who left a note to his pupil, Leonardo da Vinci, to finish the painting. This painting is now considered by many to be Leonardo's first major work, as he made the background, the wings of the angel, and the finishing touches to the painting. What does the painting symbolize? As we can see, Angel Gabriel is holding a Madonna lily in his left hand, which represents the purity of Mary, and is also the symbol of the city of Florence. Mary can be identified by her dress, which is largely blue. The enclosed garden in which Gabriel is kneeling is a symbol of Mary's virginity. The marble desk or sarcophagus in the middle has been painted after the tomb of Piero and Giovanni de' Medici, which was carved by Verrocchio. The Annunciation represents Mary's everlasting virginity through the angel Gabriel's announcement that Mary would conceive a child who would be born the Son of God. The painting is based on Luke chapter 1 verses 26 to 38, where Archangel Gabriel foretells the birth of Jesus to Mary.